Hello, everybody. This is Pete from Paw Labs, and I'm kind of doing something a little different for this video. Um, I'm showing off a tool that is not mine. Um, there is one, I think I've heard it from a number of people that they consider that the GUIs of the graphical user interface produced by PureBasic is not snazzy, is not modern enough. And there's a tool that you can get, which is very low cost, that fixes all of that if you're interested in that sort of thing. And I've used it personally in a number of products of mine to make the toolbar icons bigger, to make the menu font more readable and larger text. Uh, well, I'm old, so I can't read the little microscopic text on cell phones and how normal things are. So, yeah, for me, this has been a pretty neat feature for me to add. And so you're asking the question, all right, get over it. What is it? And the answer is it's ProGUI. ProGUI is it's a small bolt-on. It's sold by one of the developers of PureBasic, I believe. I'm not really sure. And but before you think I'm doing this feature article or video on ProGUI and I'm getting paid to do it, I'm not. I haven't even contacted the author to say, hey, I'm going to make some videos on your tools. I think they're pretty cool. So he's got a great website that shows you some of the stuff. Documentation is great. Um, and so I think it costs 20 euros, and in US dollars, that's like $22 US, and it gives you the Windows 10 look and feel. It gives you all of the really fancy menus and toolbars and those what are they, the menu panels that you can drag around and throw up against various walls. I've never had personally a lot of interest in those, but there are people who do. Uh, the tool is extremely well documented. You can drill into any command. You can, he gives you all the options and the how to use and why you use it. And if there's enumeration values, he gives you all of those and then describes what they are. It's well documented, and that to me is very very high on my list. So I wanted to show off some of the stuff, and it'll take a video or two to do this. So the first example I want to show you is on buttons, and so you can have great big buttons that don't necessarily look like buttons, but are buttons. Uh, his examples go all the way through the control panel or the control loop to show you how the numbering comes back and how to code it. You have the pictures on buttons, for open and close and that cutesy sort of thing. He's even got the semi-transparent, transparent type buttons where you can set how transparent it is. There's toggle buttons that are here. You got sticky buttons, and you got this guy up here that just running the cursor over the button completely changes what the button looks like, which is kind of cool. And if you notice, this is a round button down here, and clicking him changes the colors and stuff of other buttons. So check boxes, these are all basically buttons of a different type. So so yeah, you have a very different look and feel to how the buttons are handled. And this is there's a lot of custom controls that exist out here that you can use to get many of these similar sort of effects versus doing this. This is just another option. Um, the code and the commands, since are very pure basic. Okay. So if you look up, most of them add an EX to the actual command. Other than that, it uses pretty much all the same syntax and styling. Some of the biggest issues that you'll see, not even issues, but changes. Normally you have a icon for a button, and now you'll have 3 to 4 for buttons because you have a normal button, what it looks like when it's just sitting there on a screen. When you run the mouse over it, then the hot button shows up. And then when you click it, and while your left click is down, the pressed button shows up. And then you have a disabled button that are all the unique images that you can load and have displayed. So it's pretty neat. You just basically build a structure, and boy, I know we've talked about structures. And then you dimension an array of that structure, and then you just load it all up. Each row in the array is one button, so you can load them all in, and then get rid of all of the images and all of that kind of stuff. So it works very nice. You can you have a set skin property where you can actually change different sorts of colorings and stuff like that. There's there's tremendous amounts of customization that you can do. And as I'm kind of scrolling down, you can see how the code really looks the same. Radio button is radio button EX to deal with this one, is what I was saying earlier. Uh, he does introduce a callback, and I have not done videos on callbacks. Uh, I guess I should. Callbacks are merely just a function that says, "Hey, when something on this screen gets called, jump back here and see if there's code that has to deal with it." But I can deal with that on a separate video. Let's go ahead and move forward with some more examples. That was just buttons. Here's some examples of menus. And in this, he's just showing the various ways you can have menus, disabled and enabled, and cut beautiful little colored pictures, changing the text actually on the color of the text on the button itself, and having that be different than the control B of the hotkey that you're showing. Okay. Um, you can have great big menus. Okay, so you can actually make it uh, elderly. What would that be? Elderly friendly. Yeah, there you go. You can make it elderly friendly with great big icons. Um, the other menu example here to show uh, is the ribbon aspect of menus that you got from, I think it started in 2005 or something, where you have the ribbons of the menus. You can put a menu on literally anything now. You can you can put up a panel and put stuff on the panel, and then put the menus on the panel itself, and then have a different set of menus on a different panel. Um, it's pretty nice, and that, of course, they all work just like normal menus. And I mean, he's got the same menu. He's got bigger ones and smaller ones. You can do all kinds of stuff. Also, he gives you all the icons he's using, so these are pretty nice icons. Um, so let's see. I think we only have two examples of that. As a last example for this video, this is a really nice one. It's basically showing you can, if you want to go this far, you can build a screen that basically looks like Windows itself. looks like it's right out of Windows Office, okay? It even has the scroll for the stencilla kind of gadget down here. You have the panels and the menus. You have these cool slider bars that you can have, and this one's actually a button, so it'll collapse back and come back out forward. You have drop downs that you can put in. There's all manner. You have button drop downs, so you can now actually do stuff like that very easily. It's got all the stuff of Windows that you would see in Windows Office, okay? It's got the colored panels, it's got literally everything. This could be, as far as I'm concerned, that is a office sheet right there. And this little panel here could be on the right or left. I mean, it's it's pretty neat what you can do. It makes the whole thing um, much more user friendly, much more modern look versus the without using this. And it's not difficult to add in, okay? It's actually quite easy to add in. So I wanted to start showing off some of these other things because I know a lot of people possibly could think that we have old GUIs. You don't have to code that way. You can code this way if you like. It's not difficult. It's actually quite simple. This whole bolt-on it thinks and works exactly like PureBasic thinks and works. So he he's got his load of icons, and if you saw, that was an awful lot of icons he had there. So that's quite a big load. And then you have coloring, and it all pretty much works the same. You have a big create menu and pop-up menu. Oh, I didn't show the pop-up menu, did I? That's kind of cool too. So if you right click, and it looks just like the old standard stuff where you can throw in the ampersand, and it's pretty neat. I've used this on a few things. So you can right click and you get a beautiful, I mean, check that out. That's pretty nice. Menu styles, and you can let's see, you can do all kinds of stuff in here. Okay, this example is pretty nice, and there's lots of different features for different colorizations of stuff. So so anyhow, that's what I wanted to show off, that it's possible to do that. And licenses, like I said, it's $20, $22 or so US, 20 euros. And I think I'm going to do another one because there's there's more to show you than this video is going to allow me. And so for right now, we'll call it quits on ProGUI. And I want to thank you for watching.